Hello, online pipe community. Ethan, Parsimonious Piper here. Today we're going to actually start a demo of cleaning up an estate pipe. Had enough people interested, so let's dive into that. Well, first, in an estate pipe, a Briar Lee Squat Bulldog. I've got one more bowl of that sample of Spillman mixture. Dang flies. It's good stuff. But let's let that go out while we talk about today's cleanup pipe. Today's cleanup pipe is a Gold Coast. It's a seconds line from Pipe by Lee. Is a Gold Coast Zulu. Slender, medium to small bowl. Very elegant. Rim needs a little cleanup. Stem needs a little cleanup. Let's take a closer look at some of the before pictures here, and then we'll talk about what we need to do to clean it up. This side shot, we can see the stummel is a little dingy. We'll hit that with Murphy's oil soap. The stem is not too bad. It's lightly oxidized. It has a couple of dings on it. I'm not going to do anything about that. The one ding you can see, there isn't really any tooth chatter around the rest of the stem. And that nick is not particularly deep. We'll make sure that the gold band in the middle there gets all shiny. Let's rotate that around. Now looking at the top, we see there is some lava on the top. We won't know whether there's any actual burning, charring of the briar itself until we get that lava scrubbed off. So that's one of the things we'll do here. There's not a lot of cake buildup, so we will just very lightly ream that. I gave it a good whiff, and I do not smell any ghosts, so we won't need to do a salt bath. We will, however, run plenty of pipe cleaners through both the stem and the shank, just to make sure that that comes out nice and clean. Stamping on this is still pretty clear. You can see the Gold Coast and the little lion emblem still stamped nice and visible. The gold filled on the band. Yes, these are 18 karat gold filled bands on the Gold Coast pipes. Some of their later pipes did not have gold bands, but these earlier ones, it's kind of a nifty little marketing gimmick. Finally, we'll look at the inside here, and that stinger is going to come out, and it's going to go in the OxiClean bath along with the stem, but they'll be separated so that there's plenty of OxiClean getting up inside the stem. And this one, as you can see, is a push stem, not a screw in like so many of my pipes by Lee, but the stinger will come out, and a good soaking in OxiClean and that stinger will be good as new. The end of the stummel there, you can see, is a little dark, but that's not bad. We may hit that with the toothbrush, but it's not going to require a ton of cleanup. So there you have it. That's going to be our rundown. We're going to do a light reaming. We're going to scrub the stummel with some Murphy's oil soap and toothbrushes. While we're doing that, we will be soaking the stem and stinger separated in a bath of OxiClean. We will run pipe cleaners with alcohol through both the stem and the stummel until they come out clean. We'll take a further assessment once we get all of that work done. Oh, and we will micro mesh the stem so that it's nice and shiny and black. And then we'll do a reassessment and see what else needs to be done before we oil possibly and definitely wax it and put the sucker back together. So I will move inside and rejoin you after I've smoked a little bit more of this pipe. See y'all in just a few. All right, I'll give you a quick view of my cleaning setup. This is a hijacked guest bathroom that I have to thoroughly clean and put this stuff away before we have company. But you can see I've got all of my stuff laid out where I can get to it. And right up front, I have a small plastic tub with some OxyClean in it. You can see it has been used. When I'm industrious, I will actually throw in a half a dozen stems into one tub of OxyClean, and it has plenty of oxy power to handle all of those stems. This particular bath has only washed one stem before, so in goes the stem, and that is deep enough to be covered, and the stinger, and we will let those soak a few hours to overnight. I may come back to this video later, finish that one up tomorrow maybe, I don't know. In the meantime, we are going to take this and go give it a light reaming while that soaks. Back in just a few. So the first thing I'll do is I will go ahead and give this a light reaming. I use this type of a reamer. I have it set all the way back at its narrowest, and there's just not gonna be a ton out here. I'm gonna do this over a counter. I normally do it over a trash can, but so that you can see what I'm doing, I'm just very lightly hitting this. Since I'm responsible for cleanup. So a little bit came out. I'm going to expand it just a little bit. And give it a little more. You can see it tilted, it'll come out. Expand it again just a little. And we'll do that again and again until I'm happy with how the bowl looks. That's pretty clean. We're not quite down to briar. Got most of it out. I will probably not do a whole lot more reaming. But we'll come back with the next step in just a few minutes. And here you have the finished product. You can see that that's reamed out fairly nicely. Got most of that out. There won't be any ghosts in this for me to have to worry about salt bath. Now, the next thing that we'll do is we will tackle cleaning the stummel and the rim. Let me rearrange a little bit. Back in a sec. So the next thing that we'll do is we will clean out the inside of the stummel. I have got some 99% alcohol down in this measuring cup, Pyrex, and we are just going to run this through. Now you can't see that, maybe, can you? Oh yeah, there you can. Just into the bowl. And around. That one came out pretty dingy. Let's flip that sucker around. Quite cleaner. Now, I like to go ahead and make a thicker pipe cleaner by doubling that up and running that through as well, because especially farther away from the, let's get that back in the camera, farther away from the bowl, that's a thicker stem. Now, I will shove that thing all the way in just to see how dirty it gets. So that got out quite a bit more. So we'll do that with a number of these till they start coming out clean. Get back on camera. See, dirty. cleaner. Bend that sucker in half. Give it a little twist. And run that thicker one right back up inside. Now that, a couple times there, and even doubled over now, that will slide. See if you can see that. All the way right there. See that? Into the bowl. So that has opened up some of that gunk that was in there. Now, before I hit it with more of those, I'll pull that gold band came off. That'll let me clean this. Figured it would. Let me clean that with Murphy's Oil soap here in a sec. So now I've got a bristle cleaner. I'm going to run one bristle cleaner through the stummel, not quite into the bowl. And push that to where it scrubs the sides good. That came out dirty. Now, because there's still some carbonation left in the bowl, pipe cleaner is never going to come out completely clean unless you ream your bowl all the way back down to wood and then do an salt and alcohol bath treatment. There is going to be some remaining carbonization in there that the alcohol on the end of your pipe cleaners is just going to pick up. But you can see these are getting progressively cleaner, and I will bend this one over too. And scrub good with that thicker. And that got even more out. So I will do that with 2 or 3 more of these things, and until they start coming out significantly cleaner. But I won't bore you by showing that on screen. I will come back in just a few minutes and we'll scrub this bowl up. Well, before we attack the outside of the stummel, we're going to take a look at this stem. I pulled it out of the oxy bath, and you can see the oxidation has been helped to pull to the surface there, where I can get it off with some micro mesh. And notice right there's a little chip in the end of that tenon. But what we're going to do is run some of these pipe cleaners through and see how dirty this stem is on the inside. Oh, look at that coming out brown. And yes, I am going to run that pipe cleaner back up partway through again. Came out much cleaner on the second run. Let's try this again. Whew. Okay, that was not a terribly dirty mouth piece on the stem there. That draft hole, not too bad. I am using cheap BJ Long pipe cleaners, and many of you know these are notorious for leaving lint behind, so I just blow it out because I think they do a pretty decent job of cleaning with alcohol, and you can buy them by the thousands. So we will hit this in the next video to get the oxidation off of that, and at the same time we'll scrub this up. Until then, y'all light something you like. get ready to clean up an estate pipe. Enjoy your afternoon.